Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taddy. I'm an astrologer and I make videos on astrology, self-growth, self-care, self-love. So if that interests you, please continue watching, please subscribe. And in this video, I'll be talking about Sagittarius risings or Sagittarius ascendants. And before I delve into this placement and their strengths and challenges, I first want to mention I have an astrology and art-based community. We do monthly events, we do full moon and new moon rituals, and make art. It's just a safe space to make new friends. So if you want to join us, the link is down below for that. And if you would like a one-on-one session with me, I offer birth chart readings. I also do brand design and I'm a brand strategist. So you can check that out down below as well. So I'm excited. Let's delve into this. Let's go into Sagittarius risings. And first off, what is your rising sign? What is your ascendant sign? Your rising sign is your perspective on life and how you see the world. It is the lens in which you view your perspective. And this is so important because you need to know first off your exact time of birth to calculate your rising sign or ascendant sign. And you also need to know that your perspective on life can influence how you go about life and how you take action. And so what does this mean for Sagittarius risings? Let's first start off with what is Sagittarius's chart ruler, and that is Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, it's the planet of growth, it's the planet of opportunities, it's the planet of just travel. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and this is really important to know. I would recommend looking at your birth chart and where Jupiter is in your chart and the sign it's in. So go check that out, and that's going to give you some information on how you're tackling life. And what's important to know for Sagittarius risings is that they are very growth oriented. They love expanding, they love learning, they love philosophical debates, they love philosophical thoughts, they love ideas, they love to travel. If they don't like to physically travel to countries or different locations, they could travel through books, through movies. They love to engulf themselves into different cultures, different types of situations. They love learning about people in this way. And I love this placement for that reason. They're so growth oriented and they're very inspiring in that realm. They're very inspiring as people because they want to do a lot. They can want to take on a lot of different things because they're ruled by Jupiter. They have a lot of interests. So the challenge for Sagittarius risings is that they could take on too much. They could want to just do everything, and this is kind of not sustainable, right? So they can feel a bit scattered. So what they kind of have to do is reel themselves in. They could try and get an accountability buddy, which would be very helpful, or they could just try and structure themselves a bit more because they want to do everything, right? And this is such a beautiful trait, but it could mean that their energy is scattered to a lot of different things. So what could help them is to check on themselves each day and like where their energy is going and really look at a plan and really figure out a plan for themselves. Sagittarius risings are so travel oriented, and this is such a beautiful thing. They could want to explore different countries, they could want to explore different cities, or they could just want to travel through books and movies. But what's really interesting about this is that they kind of have to watch out for thinking the grass is greener on the other side, right? And they could think that if they moved, that things would be better, or they could think that if they could learn everything, then they're going to be okay. However, what this really is a form of escapism. So they have to watch out for wanting to escape their current reality, their current situation, and really learn how to accept where they are and see the beauty in this and see how much growth that they've already had and acknowledge that growth, because they could want to keep doing more and more. But in reality, they could just benefit from slowing down through meditation, through journaling, and that's going to help ground them, right? They are a fire sign, so they're very passionate. I love this about them. They're very passionate. They're very witty. They're really funny. They have really amazing ideas, and they think differently from others. They really center around How can everyone grow? How can all these communities grow? How can we learn from one another? And their midheaven, which is interesting. So your midheaven is the top of your chart. It kind of dictates your career, also your public image, and just where your reputation lies. And because it's in Virgo, they are very community focused, they're very human centered, they are very much research driven, which makes a lot of sense for Sagittarius risings. I just want to let you know that this is for whole sign, so your midheaven could be different depending on your birth chart, but in whole sign it would be Virgo. And this kind of just tells me that health practices are very important to them, health is very important to them, or they can really help others through therapeutic practices, through wellness practices. They could also just really benefit from service oriented careers. And because they are ruled by Jupiter, I think they would make amazing teachers, amazing coaches. I think they would make such amazing just speakers and inspiring speakers because they know a lot. They know a lot. They know a lot of information, and they want to share this with other people. They want to share their knowledge with others. And I think this is such a beautiful thing. I think it's such an amazing strength of theirs. They're able to share such complex information, and their goal is kind of to make this more accessible to others. And I think the only thing that they can struggle with is to make sure that they don't sound preachy or they don't sound too much like this is the only way. And that's not necessarily true. I think they're very open minded. They are ruled by Jupiter, but I think this is such an important thing to consider. Sagittarius risings are just so people driven, right? They want to change things. They are the sign that comes after Scorpio. And this is important to note because Sagittarius risings really want to go about life and change the system in place, or they want to take action and think of a new, brighter future for everyone. They're very optimistic, and this is such a beautiful thing. I love this about them, that like they have amazing optimism. And this is one of their biggest strengths. They could also just be very driven by ideas, very driven by a new way of doing things. And they could really want to change the system for the better for everyone. They could be involved in protests, they could be involved with government standards of changing the system in some form because they really believe in changing the system for everyone. They are very community centered in that way, and I love this about them. I think this is an amazing trait and skill. They're very philosophical too. I think they think of really interesting ideas. I think they are really intrigued by interesting people. I think one of the challenges for them is like maybe when they're younger, they could want to party a lot. They get very pulled into excitement. They get pulled into just the party life in that sense. And they have to be careful of FOMO, the fear of missing out. So they have to kind of pull back and think of, okay, no, wait, is this worth it? Do I have to do everything? Do I have to attend all these parties and things? And I think this is very interesting, right? They can go hard. They can party hard. And I think it's really understanding, okay, no, is this what they want? Like as they age, as they grow older, they kind of tend to understand more so that what they crave is actually ideas and stimulation and like just having more of that connection, that intellectual connection. So that's something to keep in mind. Growing up, Sagittarius risings could have lived in a different country or different city and then they had to move when they were younger, or they could have just wanted a different kind of lifestyle. Maybe they were seen as different, or maybe they realized that what felt like home to them wasn't really their home. And one of their lessons is to learn, what does home actually mean to them? What does home actually feel like to them? And cultivating that for themselves. That's super, super important because that's going to help them grow. That's going to help them feel safe. And finding that safety and security within themselves is going to be so beneficial for them. Growing up, Sagittarius rising's parents could have really prioritized education or just really so much that success is recognition, whereas that wasn't really true. It was more so this feeling of if they kept accomplishing more, that's what was going to make them happy. And I think that's the main struggle for Sagittarius risings, is to realize that, you know, they are okay as they are. They are worthy just as they are. They don't need to do anything to earn love. They do not need to be in that cycle of doing more means people are going to love them more. And I think when they're a bit older, they start to recognize this pattern, and they have to just be aware that the more they see, the more they do. It doesn't really dictate their worth. Their worth isn't inherited. They're worthy just as they are. And to remember this, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. It's very adaptable. It's a fire sign as well. And this could just mean that they fit well in different situations. That's also why they travel so much, is because they are able to fit into the culture. They're very respectful in that regard, and they want to learn more from different cultures. They want to learn from a lot of different people. They know that if you talk to anyone, you'll learn something from anyone, right? And I think and this is one of my favorite things about them. They can learn from everyone. They're very story driven. They're storytellers. And I love this so much about them. I think this is one of my favorite things about Sagittarius risings, is that they're natural born storytellers, and they're very good at sharing their own personal stories. They're very good at sharing other people's stories. And I think this is an amazing skill. What I love about Sagittarius risings is that they're so growth oriented, they're so open minded, they're so warm, they're witty, they're funny. I would say that they really want to explore, they really crave that. I love Sagittarius risings. They're just so inspiring to me. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. And if you have a Sagittarius rising friend, please share it with them and let them know that you see them, that you love them. Also, if you are interested in joining a welcoming, supportive Patreon community, the link for that is down below. We do monthly events, and we'd be happy to have you there. And if you would like a one-on-one session with me, the link for that is down below as well, and we can delve into your specific birth chart. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what video you'd like to see next. And I just want to let you know that the universe has your back. And with peace and love, take care. Bye.